In this particular Orange HRM FRS, so it tells you about the Mine for module section, which tells you about the employee related information. Okay, say for example, HR has updated the employee details, and the individual employee will log in into the system, and he will be able to see his information, his personal information. He can update certain information, personal information, and accordingly HR can also see those information. So it's not that we have to involve the HR always. Okay, so we'll understand this entire functionality. There is one ESS user. Okay, there is a user type that is ESS. Consider it as supervisor user. Okay, right? It's a user type. So it says mine in case of mine for module, it says when an ESS user logs into the system for the first time, the first thing they will see is the personal details screen as shown in the figure 1.1. Okay, the very first screen would be this kind of a login page. Okay, the moment you start your website, it will show you this login page, and once you log in with ESS user, okay, you will see the personal details screen. Okay, as shown in figure 1.1, that is this figure, this particular image. Okay, and then it says they are able to edit and enter certain fields. So some of the fields are editable and some of the fields are not editable. Say for example, employee ID, driver's license number, they are not editable. Date of birth, this is once you have set or once HR has set these fields, you cannot edit it or you cannot change it, right? So they are non-editable fields, right? So this is the image. So through image, they will make you explain the entire flow of the project. Okay. So the very first image they have mentioned is about the login page. Then once you log in with ESS user, you will be redirected to this particular page. Then if you want to add certain fields or edit certain fields, then you can add it over here, save it. You can add some attachments or delete attachment. Okay. Then it says the following are restricted fields where an ESS user cannot make changes to the following details and need to be populated by the HR admin. So these are some of the fields which a person cannot edit. Okay, it's a non-editable field. So this is the functionality which we have to test. Okay, now let me open up the website itself. So this is the website, and they have given a very different look now. Username is admin and admin123. Right now I don't have the ESS user IDs, so I will log in with this user ID and password. So admin and admin123 login. So you are now we are logged in with the admin user. Okay, and you can see different options coming up over here. Okay, because we are logged in with an admin user, so we can see different options over here. We'll go to the Mindfo section. This is Mindfo module. Okay, we are just concentrating or focusing on this particular part, that is Mindfo module. Now this website is already created, but in real time this website won't be there for you. Okay, you will only be having this kind of SRS, which will be depicting all the necessary pages, and that would be in flow. Okay, one by one in flow the pages would be mentioned. So you just have to follow the SRS and accordingly write the scenarios, and based on scenario you have to write the test case. Okay, but because we are having the website with us, you can have a look at it and get an understanding of it. Okay, so I'll go to the Mindfo section. See, this is Mindfo section. They have changed the entire website recently only. Now you can see personal details page. Okay, so when you click on this, or by default actually when you click on the Mindfo, this page will be coming up. So person details is shown. So this particular page is visible. Okay, and you have save button over here. Some custom fields if you want to add certain fields. Okay, or this is blood type. You can this is the custom field which is added from admin side. Then attachment you can attach, do some attachment over here, and those attachment will be visible over here in this file name description. Okay, all those things that way. So this is the functionality. Now looking to the SRS, see right now we don't have website. Consider we don't have a website, and we just have to work as per the SRS. So we have this entire UI of the page, okay, user interface of the page, and certain information which is mentioned over here. Based on this, we have to write scenarios. Okay, this is our task. So first of all, we need to understand. We'll go with this one requirement only, wherein it says you have to log in with ESS user. Okay, and this particular when you log in, this particular page will be directly visible to you. Okay, and then we can edit certain fields and enter certain fields. Okay, so some fields are editable and some are non-editable. And then based on this UI of the page, we can get information like what all fields are available, okay, and what are the different restricted fields. We can do attachment and all those things. Okay, and this is person details page. There are other menu or you can say links available in the pages as well. That is what information we can get it from this image and the description. Now what we will do, we will go and so we have this phases, okay, STLC phases, planning and control, analysis and design. So we are at this phase, analysis phase, wherein we have to understand the requirement, okay, get our understanding clear, get our things, doubts clear with this requirement, and then we have to move to the design phase. Okay, so in design phase, we will be creating scenarios and test cases. So open up this folder, and we can see over here we have test cases, XLS sheet. Okay, I'll open this one. Let me open this one. So this testing content, I think Janvi has shared you in the WhatsApp group earlier. People who are not having this part, we will be sharing it again, okay, in your email address, or you can have it on the WhatsApp as well. So this Excel sheet got opened up, and it is having two sheets, RTM and test cases. Okay, you have to click on this options, enable this content. So it's a macro enabled in this Excel sheet. So that is why it is giving you security alert. We can click on enable this content and click on OK. So macro is enabled. Now directly we don't have to write test cases. Initially we will write scenarios. So we'll go to the RTM part. Now there is already some specific column names which are available over here. What we have to do is we have to capture the requirement from this SRS. So whatever is mentioned over here in text part, that we have to copy this entire text from here to up till here, leaving the image. Okay, we have to copy the entire text and paste it over here in the requirement details section. And that requirement is coming from which requirement? That is my info module, and the information sources Orange HRMS version 1.0. Okay, so now what we have done, actually we have captured one requirement. Similarly, there are different requirements, different sections, okay, and different requirements. So we will be doing this like photograph. If you want to write scenarios or you want to cover this requirement, again we will do the same thing. We will copy this entire text, whatever has been mentioned, and we will paste it over here. See, this way we can paste it. So this requirement is coming from photograph section. So this is the initial part is to capture all the requirements or all the sections over here in this particular format. Clear up till this point, guys? Everyone is clear up till this point? First of all, we have to read the requirement document as in the entire SRS. So we have to make our understanding clear what the person wants to convey or say over here in the SRS. Then we have to copy the requirement and paste it into the Excel sheet. Now we have to just fill up this thing. So is it testable? Do you feel that it is testable? Yes, we can say. Importance, so it's a high importance, it's the main page. And function area, it's a mindful model function area or part. Now we have to write the scenarios in this particular section. So based on this requirement, we can say or we can come up with these kind of scenarios. We can say verify ESS user login first time. Okay, user sees personal details page. Then check user allowed to edit certain fields. Okay, as mentioned in SRS. Check user not allowed to edit certain fields as mentioned in SRS. Check UI of the page. Check with valid data. So all these fields, okay, based on this particular image, we can say we have to check all these fields with valid data and then save it. So for full name, as in first name, there are valid data as in it should accept only characters, uppercase and lowercase. It should not accept numbers, special characters. Okay. So we have to check for each and every field for valid data. So that scenario covered with this part. Then blank entries. So we can cover the mandatory fields. See over here you can see first name with mandatory sign, last name with mandatory sign. So we can cover the mandatory areas. Then invalid data. So try for invalid data in all the fields, whatever we can enter. Then check adding an attachment functionality. So we can attach or do an attachment over here, add an attachment. We can also check the delete part, deletion part. So we can write over here as well the deletion part. So we'll say check deleting an attachment. So that functionality also we want to check. Okay. So whatever you can think of, okay, as part of this requirement, and by looking to this image, okay, you have to mention all those things, all the scenarios over here. So we don't have what you say website right now with us. So whatever we have is nothing but this PDF document. Okay. So based on this PDF, we have captured the requirement, and based on this understanding, we have written this part. Okay. Then if you go to the next level, it says about photograph. So what it says, the ESS user can add a photograph of himself or herself by clicking on the photograph at corner of the screen, and the screen as shown in figure 1.2 will appear. So this kind of screen should come up. Then it says click browse and then select a photograph from the relevant path. Okay, and click upload once you have selected the picture. The picture selected will be populated on the photograph section. So whatever image you have selected and you click on upload, okay, that will be visible over here. And there are certain restrictions, as in you can only upload a maximum size of 1 MB, that too in JPG and PNG and GIF format. Okay, actually GIF should not be allowed, but JPG PNG format. Okay, that. One thing I want you guys to notice, okay, that is over here, click browse is mentioned, okay, whereas over here choose file is mentioned. So this is a kind of typo error. Okay, designer team or design team has mentioned choose file in the image. Okay, whereas the business analyst has mentioned click browse button. So this is a like kind of a confusion. Being a tester, you might say okay, click on browse button, but over here you can see there is a choose file. A very small, simple defect or mistake, but this is nothing but a typo, or you can say problem or defect which you can find at the review stage, or you can say static testing part, right? When you do a static testing or a review of this SRS, then you can come up with a point that okay, see over here something else is mentioned, and over here in the image something else is mentioned. Okay, that way. So deliberately this has been kept. Okay, to make you guys understand as static testing, these kind of defects or things can be catched. Sure. Now we'll understand. We have understood this requirement that we can add a photograph or upload a photograph, and that photograph should be appearing over here. Now, the next step is to capture this requirement. So we have to copy, okay, this entire text and paste it into the Excel sheet. So that has also been done already. Okay. So whatever the text was there, we have captured and pasted it. It is testable, yes. Importance is high. Function is mindful. Now we have to write the scenario. So what would be the scenario? So based on the requirement, it says ESS user can add a photograph of himself or herself by clicking on the photograph at the corner of the screen. So that we have to write. So check, okay, photograph, photograph, upload, page, display. Okay, that we want to check. Check photograph upload page should be display. Display that particular part we want to check. Okay, how it should come when you click on the photograph icon. Okay, or the link, that page upload page should be displayed. That is the first thing we will check. Second, okay, we'll say click browse and then select a photograph. Okay, so check photograph, photograph, browse button functionality. Okay, browse button functionality. So that is what we want to check. So we have covered that portion as well. Then we'll say okay, select the photograph from the relevant tab and then click on upload, so it should get uploaded. So check upload button functionality, that one we want to check. Then we have fourth one. Mm, click this. Once it is, the picture should be selected in the photograph section. So check the photo display, okay, portion, as in it is whether it is displaying the photo correctly in the center and something like that. This sentence you can frame on your own also. I'm right now writing as per my understanding. Then we have some restrictions which are also mentioned over here, as in you can have a maximum size of 1 MB in that in this format. So we'll say check with check photo upload, check upload of photo. You can say check uploading a photo with more than 1 MB size. Okay. And similar way, check uploading a photo with less than 1 MB size. Okay, so both the things we have covered, and you can go with the exact 1 MB size also. So if you can recall boundary value analysis, where we have mentioned, right, one less than the boundary, then the boundary value, and one higher than the boundary. So you can apply the boundary value part over here as well, as in less than 1 MB or 1 MB more than 1 MB, okay, and then exact 1 MB size. Or you can go with the equivalence class partition technique also. Okay, so we can relate it with the theoretical part which we have learned earlier. Now comes your seventh point, anything else we can cover. So MB size is there, then we have format, okay, JPG, PNG, and GIF format. So you can say check with check uploading a photo with dot JPG, dot GIF, and .png format. Okay. Anything which is remaining, you can check with that. So check uploading photo with which format is left out. Bitmap. Okay, so bitmap image with this format. Okay. So this is a valid format which is acceptable, and this is an invalid format which is not acceptable. So valid and invalid, we have covered both the things, positive and negative. Okay. You can cover the check UI portion. So check UI of the page, your photograph photo upload page. That's it. So we'll stick up till this part. Okay. If you feel that you can add more scenarios, you can add more scenarios as well. So what we have done, we have captured the requirement, and then we have written the scenario for that particular requirement. Now the third step is to write test cases. So once we have captured each and every requirement, and we have captured or we have written all the scenarios, then we will start writing the test cases one by one for each and every scenario. So we will copy this particular first scenario and we'll go to the test cases part. Okay. Now this is the test case section wherein the test case format comes in. Test case name, summary, precondition, status, importance, okay, steps, expected result. Now this document we have created for our clients and for our particular process. Okay, every organization would be having their own Excel sheets. Okay, the format test case format remains the same. Okay, the test case format remains the same, but this Excel sheet will change. Okay, this particular Excel sheet is comprising of macros, wherein we can convert all these test cases into test link format. Test link I am going to take tomorrow, but definitely this Excel sheet will be useful to us. So this is specifically for our purpose. Okay, so you need to understand that this Excel sheet will change from company to company. It don't have a what to say mindset that the same Excel sheet you are going to get in the organization. No, it won't be like that. And it might be the case that company might not be following an Excel sheet itself. They might be following the tool itself. They might be directly writing the test cases on the testing tool, or they are not. They might not be following testing. They might be following some other tool, test trail, or their own created tool. So whatever tool or whatever Excel sheet they might be following, the test case format remains the same, and the entire process of capturing the requirement, writing the scenarios, and then writing test cases, this all remains the same. Okay. Sure. Now in this particular Excel sheet, you need to follow some specific guidelines. As in, this is called as test suite. So test suite behaves like a folder. Okay, so the way you have folder in your Windows folder structure, like you have music folder. Okay, so in that music folder all the songs will be contained. Then you might have some personal all your in that all your personal files or documents will be stored. You might be having videos folder. In that particular folder all your videos, whatever you would be storing. So you are categorizing your files and documents as per the content. Similar over here, we will be categorizing the test cases as per the functionality, okay, or as per the page. Okay, so say for example, I will say over here, this is personal details page. Okay, these all test cases are related to my info module, personal details page. Okay, so my test case or test suite name would be personal details page, and details would be test cases related to personal details page. That way. Okay, I will remove this column. So personal details page, okay, and test cases related to personal details page. That is the detail of this test. This comes in third line. Now you have to write the test case from the row 4, that is one line below your test suite name. That is the format we have to follow. Okay, so test case name. Okay, so it comes from the scenario name itself, as in verify ESS user login first time user C person details page. So that is what we have captured and pasted over here. Okay, then summary part. What is the objective of this test case? So this test case ensures user should see the personal details page as soon as he logs in as ESS user. So whenever a person with ESS user type logs in, he should be able to see the person details page. That is what I want to check. This is the objective of my test case. That is what I have mentioned over here. If you want to make it more lengthy, you can make it over here. But this should be very concise. Okay, to the point. Then precondition, what you guys should have. So you should have URL of the website. Otherwise, you won't be able to test it. Then ESS user login credential should be there. Okay. Test environment should be ready. So these three basic things you should be having as part of your precondition. Okay. Then status, right now it will be draft, importance high. Okay. Then the steps to be followed. So open URL and then the URL will come over here, whatever be the URL. What is the expected result? So login page should be displayed. See, as per the SRS, okay, the very first page is the login page. Okay, the very first page is login page. So when you open a URL, it's not like home page or dashboard or whatever things. It's a login page directly. Then enter valid credentials. Enter valid ESS user credentials. You can say valid ESS user credentials. Credentials entered. That is your expected result. Then click on login button and verify user should be redirected to personal details, my personal details page. That is what my scenario wants to achieve. Okay. My test case wants to, in my test case I want to check this part only. When I log in with this user, I should see this personal details page. So that is what we have achieved from this test case. Okay, and then expected user should be redirected to this page. So this is one test case we have covered. Then now we have to, what we have to do, we have to cover the second test case. So we will copy the scenario, check user allowed to edit fields as mentioned in SRS. So I'll copy this scenario and paste it over here in test case name. So this is my scenario name which I am copying in my test case name. So scenario will become your test case name. Then what is the summary? What is your objective? What is the objective of this? This test case ensures user should be allowed to edit fields as mentioned in SRS. Okay. You can mention the field name also, whatever field name you want to say. Okay. You can, if you want to make it more lengthy or descriptive, you can make it more descriptive as well. Precondition, user should be, sorry, URL should be available, ESS user. So it's all copy paste. Whatever is mentioned over here, we are copy pasting. So it's not necessary to write each and everything again. Okay. Draft high. Okay, again steps also you can copy paste. So open URL, enter valid credentials, click on login button. Up till this part, it's all copy paste. Okay, and the expected result is also copy paste. Then we will say, okay, now what we want to verify, verify user is allowed to edit and save certain fields as mentioned in SRS. And what are those fields? First name, address, and whatever all the fields mentioned. Okay, you can mention other fields as well over here. Okay, other fields. As per SRS. You can mention it, other fields as well. And just you want to check, okay, user is able to save this mentioned fields. That is my expected result. So that is also covered. So this is design part, guys. We just have to write the test cases for uh, making the steps one by one steps to perform a particular one to check the particular action. When you go for execution part, these test cases you are going to refer to. So you will refer from this. See, I will give to one particular test case to one particular tester, this test case to another tester. So tester one, what he will do, he will see, okay, this is one what we want to do, and this is my objective. these all things should be there with me. Now what are the steps? Okay, I want to open a URL. So he will click or open a browser. He will open a URL into that browser. And then what is expected? Okay, this should happen. So he will check yes, yes. Then he will go back and then in the browser he will enter valid credentials, ESS user credentials. Okay, he entered, so that is expected. Then he will perform this action and he will say, okay, what do I want to verify? I want to verify whether user is redirected to the my person details page or not. And if he is redirected, any question, guys?
I have one here.
Yeah, tell me.
So in like a real world scenario, in the companies, the test cases are written by somebody else, and test the testing is performed by different tester. Is that what it is, or
Uh, uh,
that one or two person like follows from beginning till the end? That the same person is writing the test cases as well as testing as well.
yeah, it varies again. See, it might happen that I'm currently free. Okay, as a tester, I'm currently free, and I'm told to work in a particular project where resources are not there. Okay, and we want to finish the work as soon as possible or in a short period of time. Then I will be involved into that particular project. I will be writing the test cases, okay, as per that particular schedule, week schedule or 2 week schedule. Then it might happen that I'm moved to another project. So I am moving to I got moved to another project, and there could be another testers who will be reading my test cases and they will be executing it. So this could be possible, or it could also happen that I am the person who is writing the test cases for a particular module, and I am the only tester who will be executing it. So from starting to end in the project, it's me and my colleagues, okay, 3 to 4 testers whoever are there. They all are involved in this particular project from beginning to end, and they are they are understanding the requirement, writing the scenarios, test cases, and executing it. So it's both the ways. It all depends on the availability or requirement of the project, okay, or the timelines, okay.
Yes, thanks.
Fine. So the purpose of this particular way of writing into an Excel sheet is we can have, see, this kind of Excel sheet. I can have my own Excel sheet as in my copy, okay. It could be that another tester is maintaining his particular home copy. Then we what we can do is we can merge that particular Excel sheet, okay. We can merge 3 to 4 testers Excel sheet, okay, and create one particular version of the Excel sheet. But then maintaining these kind of Excel sheet is a problem over the long period of time, for 1 year, 2 years down the line. Maintaining these Excel sheet is very difficult. Maintaining the version is very difficult, okay, because it might happen that I may leave the organization, another person comes in, and then I have to make him explain the entire thing. Till the time he understands things, many things have to be changed in the Excel sheet. He's not aware, so it becomes very difficult to maintain these kind of Excel sheets, and do like merging of this Excel sheet is also difficult, because in copy paste it might right, it might create some problem. So instead of Excel sheet, we generally follow a tool which is a web-based tool, as in through URL you can access that tool, and that tool is hosted on a server. So in case of distributed environment where many testers or many people are working from different locations as well. Some of them is working from India, some of them are working from US, UK, or another country. Okay, they may collaborate every their work in one particular tool without disturbing others' work. Okay, so version control. Okay, it's very easy to do on that particular tool, and that is the reason Excel sheet is not that much fruitful. Okay, but yes, if you are working in a very small company, okay, 20 to 25 people company, and there is a very small team of testers, like 3 to 4 people are there, then definitely you can go for Excel sheet. Okay, maintain Excel sheets and complete your work. Or you can say, okay, you have a very small project of 3 to 4 months. Then also you can go for Excel sheet because you don't have to maintain the Excel sheet for long time period. Okay, so in those particular scenarios, okay, we can have Excel sheets. Some of the companies might not be following Excel sheet, they might be following only tools. Okay, it might be that they have created their own tool and you have to follow their tool. So what happens whenever you go to a company, okay, whenever you get a job, okay, the initial period, okay, for a week, 2 weeks, or 1 month time period, you will be made to understand, okay, these things. Just a minute, guys. मना 2 मिनट रुक जाएगी. 2 मिनट रुक जाएगी. Yeah. So whenever you go to a particular company, okay, so definitely you will be getting an induction about their process, okay, how they follow everything, and whatever tools they are following or using, they will give you a complete induction or a from starting to end the process understanding, and you will be made to work as a shadow resource, as in some senior person or a person who is already there in the organization for past 1 year, 6 months. Okay, he's aware about things, so you will be working as a shadow resource under him. So you will be just observing things, what he's doing, how things are being done. Okay, what if any specific challenge or problem occurs, whom to be contact, and okay, who is the point of contact in that particular project. So everything will be made to you guys, right? That you guys will be made aware about that particular part, and then you will be given a live project, or you will be made to work on a live project. It's not like that you joined a company from the very first day or from the second day, not even from the second week. You will be made to work on a project. That won't happen anytime. Okay. So every company has their own process. Right now, what I'm making you aware is, I'm making you aware about my process and what I have seen in the other companies as well. Okay. Wherein some company are following Excel sheet, some company might be following tools directly. So I will give you understanding of both the things. So I have made you aware about this Excel sheet part. Okay, you just have to fill up the things like this one. And tomorrow I'll make you understand the tool, how the tool testing tool works. Okay. Then what we will do, we will export the test cases to test link. So we will export test cases as in this entire Excel sheet format will be transferred into an XML format. Okay, XML. I have made you understand about XML, right? It's extensible markup language, right? And that XML will be storing this entire content data. And TestLink is a tool which will understand that XML and will convert this data into its own format. Okay. So over there also test case name, summary, all these things are there. Okay. It's just we will be exporting it from here and importing it over there. Okay. So that feature is available over here. But as I said, it's not always the case that in each and every company you will be getting this kind of Excel sheet. Definitely, you can use this particular Excel sheet, okay, in your company wherever you go. But whichever process they are following, you have to follow that particular process. Okay, this is just for your reference and understanding. Okay, so this is how we have to capture the requirement from SRS. Okay, and then write the scenarios, and based on this scenario we have to write the test cases. So what I will do, I will share this Excel sheet, okay, this specific Excel sheet with you guys. I will share you the orange HR and SRS also, okay, and the URL also. URL you can refer to it later because okay, the portion has been changed a lot. So what you can do is you can read two, three sections of the SRS. Okay? Like you can read this my info module. You can go through this photograph, and you can go through this contact details. So for next week, your exercise would be to capture this requirement of contact details, okay? And as per the page design and as per the requirement mentioned over here, you have to capture this requirement into Excel sheet, okay, over here in RTN, okay, and then write the scenarios for it. And based on the scenarios, you have to write the test cases. So that would be an exercise for you guys. Fine. So do understand this particular part, this SRS, and do understand this way of writing style also. Okay.